You're holding a tiny copper-colored coin in your hand. Just 1 cent, a coin so small, so ordinary that millions of Americans walk past it every single day, ignoring it, dropping it, even leaving it on sidewalks as if it were worthless. But what if I told you that behind this small coin hides one of the most shocking stories in American history? Yes, the coin I'm talking about is the United States 1 cent, the penny. And tonight, you will discover secrets about this little coin that will keep you hooked until the very last moment. Because once you know the truth, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. The story of the 1 cent coin begins more than 2 centuries ago, when the United States was still young, fragile, and fighting to prove itself to the world. Back then, money wasn't just money. Every coin struck by the U.S. Mint was a symbol of survival, a declaration that America had arrived, and a silent promise of unity across a divided land. Meant to be the coin of the people, a coin that every farmer, every merchant, every child could hold in their pocket. And yet, from the very first moment the cent was born, it carried with it mystery, controversy, and scandal. The very first large cents, minted in the late 1700s, were huge, massive copper coins bigger than a modern quarter. People hated them. They were too heavy, too bulky, and many Americans complained that they looked strange. But what if I told you that some of those very same ugly cents are today worth millions of dollars? Yes, the 1793 chain cent, for example, was mocked at the time for its odd chain design. But hidden in that chain was a story that shocked the public. Some believed the links represented slavery. Others thought it symbolized oppression. Newspapers criticized it so harshly that the design was changed almost immediately. Only a few survived, and now collectors will pay over $7 million for a single one. Think about that. A 1 cent coin worth more than an entire mansion. But the suspense doesn't end there. Because as America grew, so did the cent. Designs kept changing. Liberty with flowing hair, liberty with a wreath, the Indian head, the Lincoln portrait, and with each design came mistakes, misstrikes, double dies, hidden mint marks. Coins that should not exist, but do, and those coins are the ones that make millionaires overnight. Imagine finding one in your own pocket. What if I told you that in 1943, during the chaos of World War II, the U.S. Mint made a mistake so shocking that today it is considered one of the rarest errors in American history. In that year, copper was desperately needed for the war. So the government ordered that cents should be made from steel coated with zinc. Millions were produced, but somehow a small number of copper plankets left over from 1942 slipped into the presses. And suddenly a coin was born that should not exist. The 1943 copper penny. For decades, rumors spread about it. Kids told each other at school, if you ever find a 1943 penny and it sticks to a magnet, it's worthless. But if it doesn't, you're rich. The truth. A real 1943 copper penny has sold for over $1.7 million. Yes, 1 penny. A coin you could easily mistake for nothing. With more than luxury cars, yachts, and even some houses. And that's just 1 year, because in 1955, another mystery struck. The 1955 double-die Lincoln cent. Imagine looking at a coin where the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" look like they're doubling, ghostly shadows overlapping. At first, people thought it was fake, but no, it was real. Thousands entered circulation, given as change in cigarette packs from vending machines. And suddenly, collectors were desperate to find them. Today, that single cent can bring in $30,000 to $60,000. And here's the part no one tells you. There are still thousands out there, sitting quietly in jars, drawers, and piggy banks across America, maybe even in your home. But the suspense goes deeper, because the 1 cent coin has also been used to carry secret messages. Messages hidden in plain sight. Look at the Lincoln Memorial reverse, issued from 1959 to 2008. Most people see nothing more than a monument. But if you take a magnifying glass and look closely, you will see a tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln inside. The only U.S. coin that shows the same person both on the front and the back. And then came the shield reverse in 2010, a design chosen to symbolize unity after the Civil War. But what many don't know is that even in these modern coins, errors slip through off-center strikes, doubled shields, misplaced mint marks. Errors that turn an ordinary penny into thousands of dollars instantly. Now, you may be wondering, why all this secrecy? Why all this suspense around such a tiny coin? The answer is simple. The penny has always been underestimated, dismissed, treated as worthless. But in reality, it carries the weight of history. Every war, every crisis, every political change, every artistic shift. It's all reflected in the humble cent. From the 1793 chain cent to the 1909 SVDB Lincoln, from the 1943 copper penny to the 1955 double die. Every 1-cent coin has the power to shock, to surprise, to turn nothing into everything. And here's the ultimate twist. Right now, in circulation, there are pennies worth thousands of dollars that no one has yet discovered. They're hiding in wallets, jars, and cash registers all across America, maybe even in your pocket at this very moment. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, will you walk past it, or will you pick it up, turn it over, and wonder, could this be the one? Because remember this, in the world of coins, nothing is ever what it seems, and that is the suspenseful, shocking, hidden history of the 1-cent coin. The penny may look simple, but its journey is anything but ordinary. Take the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent, for example. It was the very first year the United States placed the image of a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, on a circulating coin. The initials of the designer, Victor David Brenner, were boldly placed on the reverse, VDB. But almost immediately, controversy exploded. Some claimed Brenner's initials were too large, too proud, almost like a hidden signature across the nation's money. The mint quickly removed them. Only a small number of coins survived with the VDB still visible. And today, collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for one. And then there's the mystery of the 1969's double die cent. For decades, most people didn't even believe it was real. The doubling on liberty and in God we trust was so dramatic that the Secret Service once suspected counterfeiting, but no, it was genuine. Today, it remains one of the most sought-after error coins in American history, selling for over $100,000. But the story of the cent isn't just about rare errors and vanished designs. It's about survival. The penny has outlived countless debates about whether it should be abolished. Politicians have called it useless, businesses have argued against it, yet somehow it remains year after year, generation after generation. The penny's history also hides strange twists during the World War II era. In 1944, after using steel in 1943, the mint switched back to copper. But here's the shocking part. Many of those 1944 pennies weren't made from ordinary copper. Instead, they were struck from recycled shell casings collected from battlefields. Battlefields, imagine that for a moment. A coin you might hold in your hand today could once have been part of a soldier's ammunition in Europe or the Pacific.